Greetings, guys. Today we're back with another quiz, political quiz. I only have 30 minutes to do this, so I hope it doesn't take too long. So let's get started. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. So I clicked on it and I saw this first question and I thought, I need to record this. And already this is really hard. Because what does more of a concern mean? Because in some ways, oppression by governments is more of a concern because they have or they should have a monopoly of force, which means that it's the amount of rebellion or whatever you can do against governments is less or more dangerous. But then there have been successful rebellions against governments. But I mean, when was the latest one? In Arab Spring, probably. Oppression by corporations is more insidious, I would say, rather than oppression by governments, which usually is quite obvious. But also you could just not buy from that corporation. But in the modern world, maybe that's not as simple as that because they're, and then the corporations can also fund the government to take advantage, bribe the government to take advantage of them. But then isn't that, again, you're just saying, well, if you have to bribe the government to do that, then that's not successful, and then the government is really meant to be a check on corporations in many ways. So I think I'm going to go slightly disagree. It's necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Well, first, I don't think it's necessary. What does necessary mean? I think the government can protect consumers by intervening. In general, I would say, a totally free market with zero laws would lead to more consumer, slave trade, for example, right? Though that's not a consumer, right? They'd be a product, so I don't know if that counts. So I would say I agree, but I don't like the word necessary because it's not. What do you mean necessary? You could just not do it and have the slave trade and have other hitmen and other sort of, never mind getting to like no unions and all that kind of stuff, and no prices, no people committing fraud all over the place. So I guess I agree. The freer the market, the freer the people. Well, not necessarily for some people, but then you've got wage slavery, and I do think in a market, there's not. No, I don't think that's true. It seems to be the case. How certainly as a Western individual, I'm quite free, but that's because I have more money and I can earn more money than other people, and then I can use that money to be free. But like, how free is a Bangladeshi? What's the wage slave? Working for 3 pence an hour. Can he do what he wants in his life? He's got to work, so you're not free. I mean, yeah, working or die. But then I guess is that a choice? Is that really a choice? Like if I said, yeah, I'm going to shoot you unless you jump on the spot, would you say you're being free because you can choose to be shot? So I'm going to strongly disagree on that one. See, this is a problem because I could go into this with multiple mindsets. Okay, I'm already 70 questions. I need to go fast on this. Better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure. No, who cares about balanced budgets? Balanced budgets are bad economically anyway. Publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. More beneficial to the people. I mean, publicly funded research has done a lot. I don't know if it's more beneficial than the market. The market's also done a lot. I think even in the market, a lot of, apart from very minor cases, a lot of people do get publicly funded research. And you got to think about World War. Think of all the benefits that came as a result of that. I think that people do build on the shoulders of giants. That's going to come out me being authoritarian. I know it, I can predict it. I know what my more beneficial to the people is. Well, I guess publicly funded research is then released for free, so that's more beneficial than sold, right? So it must be more beneficial. But it's whether it's as good as market. Well, tariffs on international trade are important to encourage local production, but that's true. If you wanted to encourage local production in a certain product, you would need to tariff it. But why would you want that? But it is important. um, is it good? No, I don't think so. Protectionism is kind of a lot ancient. I'm never going to finish this in 30 minutes. I'm just going to go with my gut. Well, I'm going to go with my gut right now and stop trying to think too much. So I strongly disagree with tariffs. Tariffs are inefficient. They're inefficient, and I really don't like inefficiency. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Yeah, that's a great. Why wouldn't that seems very good. Basic social programs are abolished in favour of private charity. No. Strong taxes should be increased. Yeah, sure. Inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. No, I don't think so. Okay, I'm just gonna be a commie, okay, in this one. Basic utilities like roads, yeah. Government intervention is a threat to the economy. Absolutely not. If anything, it stabilises the economy. Those with the greater ability to pay should receive better health care. See, I do think that, yeah. Because that's efficient, isn't it? Is it efficient? I don't know. If the wealthy people are able to pay, I mean, how do you stop them? How can you stop people from buying more better healthcare? I do think there should be more of an economic stance to healthcare, especially publicly funded healthcare. Like, what is the point of spending millions on one person to save their life? So I agree. But then if they want to pay out of pocket, then sure, because that's going in to the rest of the money. If they have that money, yeah, okay. So I agree. Quality education is a right of all people. What's a right? What does a right mean? I don't know what right means, but sure. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them. See, this is just asking me if I'm a commie. I don't necessarily. I think it should belong to the state. um, I don't necessarily. I've thought a lot about this, and I'm not sure how much I agree. I can agree sometimes, but other times I'm like, are workers gonna? Because what they'll do is stuff like the scissors crisis, right? Think about the scissors crisis in the USSR. That was farmers having complete independence and control over their own means, and when the price of grain fell, what did they do? They just stopped working because it was made more sense just to wait. And in that case, why would you? That's bad. So I don't really think it's necessarily optimal that people should be given choices. you know, because we need grain, and we'd rather people work than leisure, in terms of a state perspective. And also, the lack of grain starved everyone, and the leisure wasn't productive work either. So I'm going to be neutral. The United Nations should be abolished. Now, I like transnational organizations. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. What do you mean by our nation? Our nation? I don't think so. The UK is a no military risk. Yeah, I love regional transnational organizations. So I don't care at all about national sovereignty. Absolutely. Oh yeah, those opinions I agree with 100 every time. Though sometimes I think maybe we should all be little city states. So I'm either of the again, I'm an extremist. Either we should all unite into one government, or we should all be independent cities competing in like a city market. It's important to maintain peaceful relations. Yeah, right, because it's a waste of money. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. Yeah, what do you mean do not need again? They don't need to be. I don't think so. But if you're not, then you're at risk of economic sanctions. Public opinion falling. But I do agree they don't need to be. Military, absolutely, most of the time. Yeah, absolutely, I do think so. Don't care. Yeah. Should be accountable. What does that mean? Should be accountable to the international. I guess. If I'm for a one world government, then yeah, I do think they should be. So I guess so. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. What? Who cares about violence? My religious values, no. Well, my values should be. No, I don't think so. People should value obeying and obedience and listening to me, whereas I can value not. Well, I guess I do listen to me, but no. It's very important to maintain order and law and order. You know, very important. Like anarchist communes, is that what you're talking about? Um, very important. Somewhat important. Oh, very. Like, fine, I agree. It's very. The general Paul, yeah. Yeah, people make stupid mistakes. I don't know if I'm giving you enough time to read them. Necessary. There we go, necessary. Um, for example, if the government GPS chipped every single person in the country and also installed a microphone in them, then that would protect you from acts of terrorism. Or if the government imprisoned everyone. So I don't know about necessary. What do you mean necessary? Sacrificing civil liberties does protect you from terrorism, or it can protect you from terrorism, depending on what liberties they are. But is it necessary to be protected from terrorism? I don't think so. Terrorism is not a problem. Government surveillance is, oh, here we go again, necessary in the modern world. It's not necessary. You won't have to do it. I don't disagree with that. People just die. That's not a lot of people. That's fine. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. I mean, that's in some ways true, but it really depends on your perspective of liberty. Are you really free in an anarchist, post-apocalyptic world? In some ways you are, but in other ways, your choices are you have far less choices. You can't go on holiday, you can't go traveling, you can't go sit in a library to read a book. You can't just sit at home and watch movies all day. You can't choose what type of job you want. You all have to like go out scavenging or fighting for your life. Um, so I'm going to disagree with this. I don't think I mean, I kind of understand it and I agree. Oh, this is so hard. Disagree. Oh, I do like this, but then I wouldn't want to. See, I think this, but people below me should not think this. That's the classic situation, right? Um, well, my personal opinion is that I act like this, so I do think that. Hierarchical, hierarchy, hierarchical, hierarchical, hierarchical. I can't say that. Hierarchical state is best. Well, it's like a monarchy or class system. I'm guessing no. I don't think. I think it's probably inefficient. Maybe in some ways, because you don't want everyone to make decisions, because that's also inefficient, and people are bad at making decisions. So neutral. I don't know. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's not. Well, would an egalitarian society outperform a society with clear defined structure and roles? I don't know. No, fuck off. Stronger the lead, what does that mean? Yeah, you should. What does that? Strong leadership is synonymous with good leadership. What else would strong leadership be? You wouldn't say weaker leadership is good, would you? So, obviously, it has to be. I mean, but then are we talking about dictatorships? Is that what it means by strong? I think we agree. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. What does that mean? Yeah, yeah, it's not at all a decision-making process. How much democracy is decision-making? Very limited. It's more like tribal, you know, sociological signaling, play acting rather than decision-making. Very little of that. I don't know what this means, this question, so I'm going to say neutral. What does it mean essential? No, I don't think they're essential. What is essential? I'm going to define the word essential. Let's search for essential. Absolutely necessary. This is necessary. Needed to be done. Essential. Obligatory. Obligatory. I don't. Compulsory. Is it compulsory? No. I don't think so. It's not essential. No. I mean, it's better. Yes. Better work. Well, hopefully. Maybe not. Because what if the AI goes wrong? But in general, yes. No. Yes. No. Churches should be taxed the same way other institutions are taxed, sure. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to the way of our life. Yeah, okay. I don't know what that means, our way of life, but yeah, sure. Climate change is going to result in some, changes to our way of life. Is it good? I mean, some people's way of life, all the people who get flooded, um, their life is going to change, all the houses. But then I guess, what do you mean way of life? I mean, I still think people will do similar lives. Just they'll die and what? Yeah, I guess maybe it means like can't go outside during some months because it's too hot or something. It is important. I think if you're gonna work combat climate change, it needs to be a united world. But whether it's important or not, it's a perspective. Who cares if the whole world, the ice caps melt and everyone dies? Sure, I'm gonna agree that united is the only way to accomplish it, though. No, no. Mm, it is important. I mean, I don't think so about me. If this applies to me and not like a government, then fuck off. I don't really think a long term. I just want to care about me. So I'm just going to disagree. Reason is more, yes. Yes. Yeah, well, should marriage exist? I don't think marriage should exist. But in the context of marriage existing, then yes. Strongly disagree. If you have one culture and then you add, I don't know, commonplace rape to it, then would that culture not be inferior? Or you add one culture and you add, no, well, if we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. I don't think so. What do you mean it is important? What does that mean? Important for what? I disagree. I don't think it's important. Well, see, but I don't think it's important. But if I was in charge, I would think it was important. Abortion should, no, I don't care. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. Well, yeah, I'm not American, so. I mean, what do you mean without a valid reason? What does that mean? Valid reason could be like being liberty, like being a human, or like being an adult. What does that mean? But yeah, I guess so. I don't know what this is. What's single payer? Does that mean the state pays? Okay, yeah, sure. It's more efficient. No, no. Yes, it is dangerous. I definitely. At all costs, absolutely. But is it good? I would still say to do it. It's fun and interesting. That doesn't mean it's bad just because it's dangerous. Um, I mean, as a force for good. What does it mean, a force for good? I don't know if it's a force for good. Is it a force for improving humans' running ability and you know um, creating even more class dynamics and creating a superhuman race and having this sort of like supreme racial genetically modified upper class versus this poor normal human. Is that a good thing? But can it improve, eliminate diseases? Absolutely. I don't know. I don't know what it means force for good. Could not. I mean, I think it'd be fun and interesting, and we get better sports competitions. But yeah, I'd like to see the development, whether it would result in this kind of upper class or if all humans would benefit. I think all humans would benefit in some way, but like maybe just results in more of a less mobility between the world. So let's agree. Yeah, fuck borders. Should be. See, I think yeah, because I think of one world government, but I also think that principally the whole purpose of government, just like corporations, is to look after their shareholders, which are their citizens. So, it's not working if you start thinking about foreigners. It's like the invisible hand. Everyone should make decisions to benefit themselves, and all that will all work out in the end, right? Or we hope it does. I mean, I think it should be as concerned about foreigners. No, not as concerned. It's concerned certainly, but as concerned, no, that you're defeating. Then you're not. Are you a government of any state? You're not. You've turned into a one-world government, which is good, but then foreigners should be made citizens. So I don't think so. All people, regardless of factors like culture, the British Embassy should work for British people, not everyone, or then it wouldn't function as a British Embassy anymore. You get what I'm saying? All people, regardless of fact, no. All people should not be treated equally. That is a terrible idea. You want to treat a murderer the same way you treat your mother? No. Formerly father, my group. I don't. My goals, yes. My group's goals. What is my group? I don't have a group. What? I am shocked at this. I'm not surprised but very progressive. I'm pretty surprised at being a liberal. Libertarian socialism. What, am I an anarchist? What the devil? Well, I can't believe that. So we look up libertarian socialism? Yeah, anarcho-socialism. No. I'm not. I don't think. I'm an anarchist. Maybe. I don't know. I think. I like the state. Why did it say that? I think the state is much more efficient and hierarchical. Gandhi? I'm not. I don't think so. I don't think this is accurate. But there we go. Those are my results. Interesting to see if I do this again in 5 years or 10 years time, or one day, and see how different the results are when I'm feeling different. Okay, bye. Farewell, folks.